Right, let's start today's session. So this is the second session of Python full stack development course. So yesterday we were discussed general demonstration, like what is Python and what type of language it is. And even we were discussed like Python full stack development subjects, which I'm going to cover, like Python, Django, REST, Flask, UI, MySQL. And in that, I explained clearly. So what is Python and what is Django, REST API, Flask, and UI, as well as MySQL and SQLite 3. And even we just started with the Python, because Python is the main core subject in this Python full stack development. So it's a programming language. And here, these are the frameworks actually. Django, REST API, Flask are frameworks only, Python related frameworks. We are going to learn these three frameworks in Python full stack development course. So one programming language we are going to learn, that is Python, and UI basics, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, and also MySQL and SQLite 3 here. So which I explained, those who are new to this session, I strongly recommend to watch my first recorded video we uploaded in YouTube channel. Even you will get a link for watching that video also after completion of this session. And we started with Python because it's a core programming language. So before going to learn any frameworks which is related to Python, compulsory we should finish with Python only. So without Python, we cannot move towards Django, REST API, Flask, as I said that. And even I explained in the last session, Python is a general purpose programming language. That means using Python, we can develop different types of application. I'll explain you today what type of applications we can develop using Python. And it's a high level programming language. That means no need to write any explicit code for low level activities. So it's completely high level programming language. So memory management, security by default internally, Python will take care. No need to write any explicit coding part for the memory management. And Python is interpreted programming language. Means in Python, code will execute line by line and execute. Code will check line by line and execute. So this is interpreter. So compiler based languages are C, C++, Java, C#, .NET. And interpreted language is Python only. Python, JavaScript, shell scripts, and so on. So code is going to execute line by line. And dynamically typed language Python. So these languages are statically typed languages, which I discussed in the last session. Statically typed means in C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, at the time of declaring the variables, we have to mention data type compulsory. So programmer should have the idea what data type need to declare before going to assign value to the variable. So these are the statically typed. Statically typed means before going to execute the program, so you have to decide the data type of the variable clearly. But Python is, I'm speaking dynamically typed, means in Python programming, only we need to declare the variable name and the value we have to assign that. So it's a dynamically typed, means at the time of program execution, data type will assign for the variable. So no need to give any integer or string or float before going to declare the variable like this. So only it's a variable name value. Based on the value, data type will decide in Python by default. It's a dynamically typed. So it doesn't mean that Python do not support any data types. Python also supports data types like int, float, string, bool, complex, and so on. So finally, Python is a case-sensitive programming language. How the way you type the variable names and function names, the same way you have to access it. For example, I'm showing now today, just I'm opening one simple editor, that is IDLE. You will also come to know in might be within few minutes after I'll start installation process also if possible. So now you can see ideally software is there by default. Whenever we download and install Python software for the first time, you will get a default editor called ideally. I will clearly tell you what editors are required and which editor through. I'm going to explain all the subjects in Python full stack development course. So first let me open ideally. The moment when I click on ideally software, ideally editor, this is ideally interactive window it is. So the user need to interact with this ideally shell. So by typing variable names and values like this. For example, I want to print hello. So no need to use any print statement here in Python. Directly you can see this hello, then press enter. We got this hello. Okay. And if you want to declare the variable a value, variable name, 10 is the value, then 10 is assigned to a only. But do you want to print this a variable value in the output? So either you can use print function or we can use directly a, no problem. Print function is optional to print the value in ideally. So interactive window here. So we are printing this a variable value, result is 10 only. But did I mention any integer data type or string data type for this a? No, not required. But how do you know that which type of data type is assigned for a variable here? Type is a built-in function, type of a only. So once I enter type of a, it's written what type. You can see integer type. So based on the value, data type will assign for this a variable. Suppose here I'm trying to take float and a value I'm printing, type of a. What type it is? Float type. So it is dynamically typed language. Meaning is what? So data type, no need to specify at the time of declaring the variable. So based on the value only, data type will decide for your variables are. So it's a dynamically typed programming language. Okay. Now coming to this, for example, if I try to do this int a equals to 10, so this will give syntax error because according to Python syntax, we need not to specify any data type. Okay, we need not to specify any data type. So it will give syntax error. Look at this syntax error, invalid syntax. This syntax is common for every language, no? C, C++, Java, C#, .NET like this. Okay. Now coming to this here, so syntax error we got. So that means int a equals to 10. No need to specify any data type for declaring this variable in Python because it's a dynamically typed language. And even as I said that case sensitive language, suppose a value 10, how I can print a only a, it's correct. But if I try to print capital A, now you can see here, capital A I'm printing. So it's not going to correct because here, so the reason case sensitive programming language Python. So whenever I try to declare capital A, so name error, we got this. Name A is not defined clearly here. Name A is not defined. So why? Because the A small letter we declare and capital letter we are printing. So it's going to give this error called name error clearly here. Okay. So this is about very basic thing which I'm explaining in ideally cell only. So how to write simple programming by interacting with this ideally. I'll talk about ideally later. So this is when I try to introduce editor tools, I'll discuss more about ideally clearly. So just I want to tell you how to declare the variable and what type will be assigned for the variable. Just I want to explain that. Now coming to this, a basic history of Python. Python was designed and developed by Guido van Rossum. He is the man who invented Python. In the year of 1989. And first version of Python was released first version of Python was released in the year of 1991. So Python was designed and developed by Guido van Rossum. He is the man who invented Python in the year of 1989. And the first version of Python was released in the year of 1991. But actually, when the author was started his script of Python language, so the name Python was selected from TV show. There was a TV show which was broadcasted in BBC channel when he started writing script of his programming language. So the TV show name is called Monty Python Circus Show. Monty Python Circus Show. Monty Python Circus Show. Then the author was selected a name Python from TV show, and he has given working title of his programming language. So that's what we can call it as Python. So Guido van Rossum is the author of Python. So that means completely he created Python programming language in the year of 1989, and first version was 1991. I will explain you what are the versions are available, which version we are going to use in our continuation. So maximum Guido van Rossum collected the features from C language, like functional features from C language, object-oriented programming features from C++, scripting language features from Perl script and Shell script, and modular programming features from Modula 3. So that's what he created a Python by collecting all different features from different languages. So this is the small history of Python. So, and my question is, so why Python actually? Why not the existing languages like C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, and so on? See, Python is a very simple programming language and simple syntaxes and easy to learn and implement, and no complex syntax. Everybody can understand. To learn Python, no need to have any idea about basic languages like C, C++. So directly we can start learn Python. So even Python can be easily learned who are non-technical background, so not required only IT background candidates. So they can also easily learn, and they can also easily understand, they can implement it. But Python is having huge libraries. That means once we download and install Python software, you will get plenty of libraries. Libraries means collection of predefined classes. Once that library is available, after installation, using that libraries, we can able to design and develop different type of applications. So that's the reason nowadays most of the programmers are looking forward for Python. So because their tasks very easily implementing in Python only, implementation of their task is easily possible with Python because all built-in libraries are available. So built-in libraries not only for one kind of aspect, like different aspects of libraries are there. Like programmer wants to design data analysis programming or data science programming. For them, the Python supports a lot of libraries like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, etc. Network programming libraries, gaming libraries, business application libraries, okay, artificial intelligence, statistical analysis, any type of application do you want to build, you can build it by using built-in libraries. That is the main advantage of Python. So maximum code coming in the form of libraries. So only minimum contribution we should give from our end as a programmer. So that's what Python application implementation is very simple with Python because all ready-made resources are available. So once we download and install Python, plenty of libraries will install. So using that libraries, we can start development of our application. So that is exactly why Python became a popular language nowadays. So the task will be easy, and what we can say, compared to other programming languages, number of lines of code will be less, and we will reduce the development of cost of the project, development cost of the project. So these are the main advantages. So why Python is required compared to other languages. And moreover, there is no complex syntax I said. So that means, for example, if you want to write any simple program like adding two number program, so in C language or C++, we have to write like this: hash include stdioh standard input output dot h. So header section this is in C language. So we have to use void main method. After that, open bracket, close bracket. In this main method inside, we need to declare the variables like int a, b. Okay, a value 10 we are assigning, then b value 20, just we are assigning 20 value, and finally we need to use printf for printing the values. Then sum is, then percentage d for digits, now decimal, and a plus b like this. So we have to write the code in C language if you want to add just two numbers. Okay, but in other languages, so even Java, C Sharp, .NET also almost you have to write same lines of code, like 5-6 lines of code you have to write it. But in Python, it's a straightforward. So no need to use this type of code, this type of syntax as main method, open curly braces, close curly braces, even semicolon, not required. Directly in Python, we can print 10 plus 20. Okay, this is the single line code. Or else, even if you want to declare the variables in Python, then we can use it, no problem. A plus B also, we can do this. 10, A value 10, B value 20, A plus B like this. This is very simple process. Let's open ideally, for example, this is our basic editor. So A value 10, B value 20, A plus B I'm taking, 30 values clearly available. That's all. So no complex syntax is available in Python. It's very simple and straightforward programming language. Okay. Yes. Now coming to this versions of Python. So what versions available and which version through I'm going to explain all the topics. We'll see them. If you want to know the versions of Python, I strongly recommend to visit official website like python.org. So this is the official website of Python.org, that is python.org. In this, we can get complete the official documentation. We can able to download it and we can able to implement it by reading this documentation section. And even every subject which we are going to cover, so each and every subject is having official website. I'll let you know that clearly: Django project.com, rest_framework.com website, Flask framework.com website. So that are different websites are there. Right now we are working with Python, so let's go for python.org. So in this, you will come to know that clear versions. Okay. So latest version is what? How we can able to do it? We'll see now. So just I'm taking python.org, sir. Now coming to this here, when we go for downloads folder, now you can see 3.11.1. This is the latest version of Python, sir. 3.11.1. Okay. So this is the latest version of Python. So you want to download this, you can simply hit automatically, it will be downloaded. Within few seconds, you will get Python software executable file .exe. This .exe we have to install it. Okay. And completely Python is a cross-platform and open source, because cross-platform in the sense it can run on Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS and all. And do you want to go for other versions? Now you can see scroll down. So there are so many versions are available. So these are the versions, Python versions. But official versions, what are main versions? There are a lot of subversions also there. First version, when it was 1991, So as I said that Python was designed and developed by Guido van Rossum in the year of 1989. First version was released in the year of 1991. So that is 0.9.0 is the first version, 1.x, 2.x, 3.x. These are the versions. 1.x, 2.x, 3.x like this. Okay. Yes. X means a lot of subversions are there. Even I mentioned in my documentation clearly what are the subversions when it was released. Let me quickly open this, and even you can able to cross verify the versions of Python here. Lot of versions included, all subversions. Right now, latest version, current stable version is 3.11.1. So using this only, we will go through this discussion. Okay. Now, even you can see in my documentation also, you can able to observe. So I mentioned clearly a lot of versions history. This you can check. So once you receive this, you can able to check this all versions which I include in my documentation section. Now you can see this is the version history. So main versions are 0.9.0 and 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, third version we are in. So a lot of subversions also there. So subversions means minor changes through. They'll release subversions every 15-20 days after. You will see this subversions in official website only clearly. So these are the version. We are into third version right now. That too, current stable version is 3.11.1. After few days, you might see like 3.11.2 also like that. So every few days after, you will get minor version updation clearly. And now coming to this application area of Python. Application area of Python. So what applications we can develop using Python generally? As I said that Python is a general purpose programming language. That means we can develop different types of applications. So using Python, we can develop standalone applications or desktop applications. Standalone or desktop, both are same. Standalone applications or desktop applications we can develop. So standalone or desktop application means the applications once we design and develop that can be limit to that particular system. It cannot be available multiple systems. That means we cannot able to share the data, exchange the data among several systems. So it's not like web applications. So standalone application or desktop application after implementation, we need to install on particular computer. So on that only it will work, like that is standalone or desktop application, we can say that. Next, in standalone or desktop application, there are two categories again. One is console application. That means it is a CUI, character user interface. Every time we are going to deal with the command user interface means you are going to give inputs or characters and you are going to get output also in a form of characters. No graphical design, no GUI, only CUI, like command prompt application generally. And even using Python, we can develop desktop GUI, graphical user interface. So standalone application, product-based any application, if you want to develop using Python, we can go for desktop GUI only. But mainly we are going to focus web application development. Yes, web applications also we can develop using Python. Web application means the application which will provide services over the web is called web applications. So these are all online application or distributed application also we can say that web application means online application or distributed applications. So using Python, using Django framework, we can develop web applications. Django framework is required. If you want to develop web applications along with Python, what required Django framework or Flask framework is required, sir. So web application means it's an online application. Once we host the website onto the server, then many of the clients or many of the end users can access this web applications directly by typing web address in the URL. So these are distributed applications or online applications. Now, using Python, we can develop network programming also. Network programming. So, see, those who wants to develop network programming applications, earlier before Python, they were used like C++ programming. But nowadays, most of the network programmers also using Python, because with Python, they'll implement easily their code because all network related libraries are available once we download and install Python software. And most of the cases like data analysis part, data analysis. So in data analysis, Python contribution is very important. Python data structures are very important, especially after completion of Python. Those who wants to move towards data analysis or data science subjects, so they need to concentrate more on Python data structures. We will explain all the data structure in detail. Why? Because Python is divided into multiple language pattern, like Python is object oriented, Python is structured oriented. We are going to discuss about a lot of data structures. Python is functional oriented, means we are going to discuss functions. Functional oriented means it's completely reusability facility is there. Once we define a function with lot of logic, that function we can able to reuse in later programming. So we will save a lot of time if it is functional oriented. And even Python is object oriented programming. Yes. So object oriented means if any programming language is object oriented, that is completely secure. Okay, we can provide more security to our code and more reusability of our code. These are the advantages with object oriented. So we'll discuss in this way only Python. So structured oriented, first we'll talk about data structures completely in detail. Functional oriented, all functions through we can work. And object oriented, that is advanced Python, like OOPS concepts, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, and so on. So data analysis applications also we can build using Python. Next, statistical analysis. Statistical analysis applications also we can build using Python. And now coming to this network programming, okay, statistical analysis, okay, data analysis and artificial intelligence, and even AWS and DevOps. These programmers also, see, those who wants to learn AWS and DevOps, so first they learn Python script, because Python script can be rapidly used in AWS and DevOps also. Okay, so we recommend to learn Python those who wants to move to learn AWS and DevOps cases. And many more applications like normal business applications also we can develop using Python. If clients wants to provide services to their customers, if clients giving some requirements, then we need to fulfill that requirements by using Python, so that according to their business needs we can develop. So using Python, gaming application also we can develop. Gaming applications we can develop rapidly. Gaming applications. And even using Python, we can develop ML, machine learning, deep learning, okay, artificial intelligence, as I mentioned that. So this is basic application area of Python, and many more, even MATLAB, embedded, VLSI. In that cases also we can use Python. That means Python is general purpose language. Once you download and install Python software, you'll get complete what we can say libraries. That libraries through we can able to implement the application. So this is application area of Python and basic versioning of Python, basic history of Python. And coming to this features of Python, what features are there and why these are? First feature is, as I said, that Python is completely simple and easy to learn. Okay, so Python is simple and easy to learn. So now you can see Python is simple and easy to learn. This is one of the basic feature. Excuse me. Now, Python is a Python is a simple programming language. When we read Python programs, like give me 1 second. Yeah. So features of Python. So first feature is Python is simple and easy to learn. So as I said that Python program syntax is very straightforward and simple. So it's a simple programming language. The syntaxes are very simple and what we can say only few keywords are available. That few keywords through we can able to write Python logics. When compared with other languages, we can write programs with very less number of lines of code. That means more readability and more simplicity will be there in Python. We can reduce development and cost of the project also using Python because it's a very less time it will take to implement any type of application. And next one is Python is completely free and open source. Python is free and open source. The source code of Python is completely open to all. We can use Python software without any license and it's completely free software. And its source code is open so that we can collect that source code from official documentation and we can customize based on our requirement. Okay. Next one is high level programming language. As I said that Python is a high level programming language. It is one of the feature. Python is high level programming language. So it is programmer friendly language. Being a programmer, we are not required to concentrate more on low level activities like memory management and security, because Python itself, it can take care memory management and security all inbuilt. This is high level programming language. And most important thing is completely platform independent or cross platform also we can call it as. Python is platform independent. So that means cross platform. It can run on Windows, Unix, Linux, and many operating systems. So once we write Python program, it can run on any platform without rewriting the code again and again. So internally, after completion of Python programming, Python virtual machine is responsible to convert into mission understandable form. So PVM is there. So Python virtual machine, we can call it as that. Python virtual machine is going to responsible to convert into mission understandable form. So that is platform independent. So Python programs are portability in nature. So this is another important feature, portability. Portability in nature. Portability means Python programs are portable. That is, we can migrate from one platform to another platform very easily. So Python programs will provide same result on any platform. For example, if you are into one platform, then easily we can able to migrate into other platform, and whatever we have written previously the code, and that code can be run on other platform easily, and it will show different. It will not show any different result. It will show same result clearly. So this is portability in nature. We can shift from one platform to another platform easily. As I mentioned in the last session, dynamically typed language. Python is dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed. So in other languages, at the time of data type declaration, so compulsory we have to variable declaration, compulsory we have to decide data type. But in Python, so not required because it's a dynamically typed language. So no need to specify any data type. Based on the variable only, Python will decide internally data type. So this is dynamically typed language. So next, Python supports both procedure as well as object-oriented programming, procedure oriented as well as object oriented programming. Procedure oriented and object oriented both we are going to use. Python programming language supports procedure oriented like C language, C++ language. What procedures we'll follow, same procedures we can also follow here, and even object oriented programming oriented also possible like C++, Java, C#, .NET, whatever the features are there. We will also manage that features using Python. So we can get both of benefits like security and reusability, and procedure oriented, object oriented, everything will come in Python. And finally, as I said, that Python is an interpreted language. So interpreted means line by line code will execute. So line by line code will check and execute. We are not required to compile Python program explicitly. Internally, Python interpreter will take care that compilation. If compilation fails, in case interpreter raise syntax error. In which line compilation failed, then on that line immediately interpreter will raise the syntax error. Once compilation success, then Python virtual machine is going to responsible to execute that code only. So that means interpreted programming language. Now Python is having extensive libraries or huge standard libraries. This is another important feature. Huge standard libraries are there. Huge standard libraries. Huge standard libraries. The moment when we download and install Python software, it will provide lot of standard libraries. These standard libraries through only we can build Python applications. So what are the application area? I said that each and every applications we can develop. Suppose you want to develop network based programming, network libraries directly we can import. And suppose if you want to design and develop data analysis application, directly data analysis libraries we can import on the top of the program, and we can write the logics by using functions and classes, everything. So these are the basic features, and these are the application area of Python where we use exactly Python. Okay, then these are the versions. So basic version 0.9.0 is the first version, and after that 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, and 3.11.1 is the latest and current stable version here. And now coming to this, what is the difference between other programming language code length and Python code length? It's very simple and straightforward in Python. No need to write any complex syntaxes. And the small history of Python, and what type of language of Python, and what is Python full stack development subjects. And as I said in the last session, no need to go for all Python full stack development subjects. If you go for Python full stack development subjects like these 6 subjects, it will take 4 months to 4.5 months time. It will take duration of this course. Or if you are looking only for Python core and advanced, so only 50 days it will take, 55 days it will take. Core and advanced Python will complete, and everyone will get complete PDF core and advanced Python, Django, REST, all PDFs we will hand over it to you once your enrollment process is over. And also according to our video lectures, like daily lectures, every session is going to be recorded. Same recorded video we will upload into your Google Drive once after completion of the session. Okay, after 1 hour, 2 hours, you will receive this same video lecture to your Google Drive. So you can watch it and you can practice it clearly. So this is about only complete theoretical part which I discussed in the last session, and this session only basics of Python we completed. Now when it comes to installation part, so now it's time to make setup of Python. For example, you want to start coding part of Python, then we need to arrange our setup. Just a moment, I'll finish it and I'll ask you all the questions. Now coming to this here, first we need to make the setup before going to start writing script of Python. So to make the setup of Python, so very basic requirement enough. So normal configuration is enough. No additional configuration is required. Okay. So, and first of all, you need to download and install Python software. Sir, only no matter, sir, which editor you are going to use. That is your wish. I will explain you clearly all the editors. Okay, finally, which editor through I'm going to write the code, that I'll decide in tomorrow's session. So maximum are all subjects like Python, Django, REST API, Flask, all the subjects I'm going to cover through PyCharm editor only. PyCharm professional editor for Django, Flask, REST API, and PyCharm community editor I'm going to use for normal Python core and advanced. This is our editor tool throughout our sessions. And even some students wants to write their code in Visual Studio. Even I recommend that Visual Studio also good enough. And even some students wants to write like Edit Plus, Notepad, Notepad plus plus, a Sublime text editor, any text editor you can use it, not a problem. But in initial stage of Python learning process, so you can better to use proper editors, professional editors like PyCharm, Visual Studio Code. And most of the data science or data analysis students, they'll prefer to write the code in Jupyter, okay, Spider, in the Anaconda distribution. So there are a lot of editors are there in Anaconda distribution, Jupyter or Spider. You can also use for every Python coding, Jupyter or Spider also, not a problem. But in our lecture, I'm going to continue all the topics with PyCharm editor only. I will introduce that editor and how to download Python software and making setup, complete step by step, clear step by step. So what software need to install first, and after that what we need to do. Every step by step I will show you in tomorrow's session. And tomorrow's session is the crucial one for all beginners, those who wants to looking forward to learn Python coding and all. So tomorrow session is the crucial session. Don't skip at least tomorrow, because you will come to know how to make setup of Python. So in front of you only, I will uninstall complete software from my computer so that I can show you step by step installation, so that you will get full clarity. So Python software, how to set up and what editors are required, how to write. There are so many different ways to write Python code and execute. You can also write Python code in Notepad and we can execute it, or else we can execute the Python code with command prompt or Python IDLE editor, or else you can directly go to PyCharm editor. There only you can write it and execute. These are the different scenarios are there. I'll explain all the scenarios in tomorrow's session step by step, so that once we complete the explanation of setup and installation in tomorrow, then we will start coding part for the Python basic programming. We will start in tomorrow's session. So that's all for today. And those who are new to this session, I strongly recommend to watch my first video, so which I completed yesterday, which is available already in YouTube channel of DURGASOFT. They'll upload first 5 demos videos, so you can watch it. And even today also you will get a link of that video, so you can cover it. Okay, just I have not written, I didn't introduce any coding part and all. So just we have covered all the basics of Python only. So features, application area, and version history, and basic code, how to write, and Python is Python all. So tomorrow actual session will begin like installation process and coding part I will start. So that's all for today. If you have any question, now you can feel free to ask me now.
Sir, hi. This is Mahesh. This is my first class.
Yeah.
I have a two-part question, sir. One, I'm actually an ETL developer working on one of the tools like Informatica, and I'm trying to move into data engineering. You know, like, so if I take the Python course in this one, right, will it cover the PySpark, sir?
No.
No, it's a separate course, sir.
Yes.
It doesn't have any.
Yes, yes. PySpark is separate subject. We're not going to deal, but you will get in this Python course, you will get complete idea about data structures, so that it will be easily handled with data, all these things in your data engineering.
Okay. So if that course you're saying like Spark, right? So I have to speak to one of the admin guys, or like
Obviously,
you're going to continue.
Yeah. PySpark is a separate course. You can able to take it, and you can also inquiry with our admin. So they'll suggest you to join in that course again. PySpark if you are looking forward that.
Okay. So second question is like you brought up the AWS stuff, right? So if there are any files in the cloud storage, like S3 buckets or data lakes, right? So does this course cover anything from Python?
No.
How to interact, reading and writing those files?
See, we are not into other subjects related, because AWS and all those things, which I mentioned here, where we can use Python. But the programmer need to have the idea of Python. After that, they can know that very well how to implement in this area like this. No.
Okay.
We are going to teach you only complete Python syllabus related. And Python, after knowing that Python, you will know that better idea where we can use that Python script, how to work with AWS DevOps and gaming and machine learning all. But we are going to focus more completely software programming, application implementation, Python with Django, all these things only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Completely extreme Python level, Python coding only we will focus more. After that, you should think about your area, way how it will work and how to use that. So you will get idea, no? Python script already. If you have idea, then you can implement it.
Right. So that's the actual goal. But one last question, sir, just for my clarity.
Sure.
So in this course, there is no ETL covered at all, meaning like handling any file systems or reading, writing.
No. File systems are completely handled. The text files, CSV files, Excel sheet, importing and exporting, and the analysis part, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, we will cover that.
Okay.
So you are speaking like with AWS, all these things that will not be there.
Okay.
File handling, database connectivity, everything is there. No, it's a part of syllabus.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. I have a query.
Yeah, tell me.
So my question is like, as you said, Python is cross-platform, or it can run on any machine, right? So as we'll come up with any OOPs or something, a platform independent language, so it turns that source code into intermediate code, then to the executable code.
Obviously,
right?
Yeah.
So in Python, like, is it like it is going to turn to just say we have a .class file? Is that it is going to turn to intermediate code, then afterwards it's going to turn to executable code, or a .py to direct .exe?
There is no .exe. Actually, .py directly is there. No, there is no exe. That's what interpreted actually here. See, whenever it is compiler, then .exe will be generated automatically after that. So it's going to be line by line code compilation. So instructions will be sent each and every line separately.
Okay.
Yeah. So .exe will not see that in Python because of it is compiler based not, but internally it will compile the code. Python virtual machine can transform the code into mission understandable code, whatever the code we are writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions? Class schedule, wait a minute. Class schedule. Yeah, projects we will cover in Django. As I said that in Django framework, complete web development process will be there. In that we will cover at least 2 to 3 projects along with REST API with Python. Fine. So that's all for my side today. And tomorrow is an important session. It's going like installation process and everything. Don't miss it tomorrow, at least, so that you will get clarity how to install down, how to set up Python, and what are the different editors are there, how the way to write the code and run the code in different style. You will come to know that. So see you again in tomorrow on same link, same time. Have a nice time.
Thank you.